Hare Krishna. Om Jnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha. So let us discuss chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita. As we saw in chapter 1, Arjun gave several reasons why he does not want to fight, why he does not want to do his prescribed duties. So the whole thing is we should not think too much about fighting or not fighting. For Arjun, it is fighting. For us, it is the concept of prescribed duties. We have to do our duties. You see, many times people say that we have a habit of procrastination. Okay, we cannot remain dedicated or committed to our duties, our dharma. Dharma is not Hindu, Christian, Muslim, Islam. It's all about duties. Therefore, often it is said Bhagavad Gita is not a religious book. It's a very secular. It's a book which applies to everyone. It teaches principles of life. And Bhagavad Gita teaches one of the prominent things which is coming out in the first 6 chapters is be committed to your duties. Stick to your duties. You see, if it is spiritual duties, every day to commit to your spiritual duties becomes difficult. To take care of the body, to do exercise every day, difficult. To stick to national, to always serve the nation with integrity, difficult. To serve the family with full dedication, that becomes difficult on a regular basis. And we always tend to deviate from our duties. And that is something which is happening in Arjun's case. So therefore, for Arjun, it is all about fighting because that's his duty. And we have to apply that example in our lives, saying that can we stay committed to our duties? If not, study Bhagavad Gita and learn the art of staying committed to your duties. That is the first point. Now, second point I want to say that Arjun gave a lot of reasons in first chapter why he should give up the duty which everyone is telling him to do. And Arjun was justifying his excuses with all logical reasons. Similarly, we also justify our laziness, we justify our stupidity, we justify our lack of commitment by giving some apparently valid reasons which are actually not the right reasons to take shelter of. And that's what Arjun does. And when this is happening, when somebody is trying to justify his mistakes and trying to cover up by giving some apparently good looking reasons, that why I am not doing my duty, why I am actually a person is escapist, he's escaping from his duties, but he's giving all good reasons, saying no, because this is the cause, this is the cause. Like Arjun was telling, I do not want to be violent, I want to be non-violent, I want to be compassionate, I love my relatives, I respect my elders, I care for the women, I care for the children, etc., etc. Arjun was giving a whole lot of reasons. And Arjun was convinced that all his reasons are highly righteous and moral. At that time, sometimes the teacher or somebody has to correct with heavy words. And that's what happens in second and third chapter. Lord Krishna speaks heavy words, chastises Arjun. Now, the next point which comes is when you are chastised, so when we are convinced that we are all right, we are all righteous, we are all moral, we are not on the wrong path, and somebody chastises us and shakes us, then sometimes it becomes difficult to accept that harshness from our well-wishers, caretakers, dear ones. So in fourth and fifth verse, it depicts that how Arjun is not able to take that heaviness from Krishna. And in fact, he rebels back by heavy words against Krishna. You are telling me to do this. Will you do that? Will you do this? Like this. And when he is telling this, Krishna keeps quiet because Krishna sees that Arjun is not ready for knowledge when I am trying to shake his perspectives of life and bring him to a broader perspective. So Arjun gets a jolt and Arjun is not able to accept that he is wrong. So when somebody's acceptance level is poor, one should not force them to accept your opinion. So Krishna keeps quiet. He doesn't force his opinion when the other person is not mentally ready. Like suppose one of your dear ones is doing something which is apparently wrong. So one thing is you correct them, but you can force them to be the way you are telling them to do. If somebody is a child, fine, to some degree you can force because that other person is a child. But otherwise, a mature person, a grown-up person, you can't actually force. And since we can't force, at that time, you just have to let the other person go through a certain experience in life before the person becomes receptive to the right path, which everyone else is telling him that this is the right path. So you have to let the other person go through the experience. You can force the other person to accept your opinions prematurely. Now, in seventh verse, by the time Arjun comes to seventh verse, Arjun actually becomes utterly confused and he realizes he needs external help. His internal analysis will not help him to come out of the mess or the confusion of life. So he surrenders to Lord Krishna in the mood of a disciple and he says, you guide me with your instructions. So at this point, usually an example is given like a pot of water. The lid is on the top of the pot and the pot has a tap. The lid is on the top, the pot is on the top, sorry. The lid is on the top and there is a tap. So everybody comes and collects water from the tap. One day the lid is telling the pot, Hare, you are giving water to everyone, you are not giving to me. And the pot says, Are Dhakkan, oh my dear lid, better you come down, lower yourself, collect water. Similarly, when we have to receive knowledge, we have to put ourselves at a lower, at a humbler position, at a humble position, at a position of humility and say, okay, I do not know, you guide me. Of course, we are not saying blind faith, but ready to open our paradigms to broader perspectives, to new dimensions. So till the time person is too much speaking and speaking and speaking and not ready to listen peacefully, such a person cannot be given knowledge. Such a person learns by his or her own experience only. But only when you are done with your internal analysis, your struggles, your internal abilities to research the right way around, and when you are done, you are peaceful, you are internally peaceful. You say, I just want to hear now. So you become receptive. That is the time. Like suppose if you have a glass of water which is full, if you pour more water, it will not go into the glass. It will all spill around. Glass has to be empty. Similarly, we have to create some empty space here. Okay, maybe I do not know some perspectives of life. Therefore, many times people come to study Bhagavad Gita, they are already so much full with ideas, they are not ready to understand broader ideas. This is the problem. So now going ahead, Arjun submits as a disciple and he says, Krishna, please guide me by your teachings. So this is how first 10 verses progresses. Then 11th shlok or 11th verse, Lord Krishna, when he takes charge now, he says, now Arjun is a receptive disciple. First thing he does, he speaks heavy words saying, you are not an intelligent person, but you are a fool. So here also it is taught that a teacher will not always be soft-hearted. He will be soft-hearted, but what I mean to say is, it's not that he will be always soft in the speech. A teacher's duty is to take the speech depending on whatever is required for the student. Like a doctor, he may apply an ointment, he may do a surgery. Similarly, a teacher may rectify someone by soft words, or at times may you need to use heavy words to correct the person. Then 12th verse onwards, from 12th to 30th, that is next 19 verses, Lord Krishna starts telling Arjun about the science of soul and body. Lord Krishna starts telling Arjun about the science of spirit soul. We are not this external body, but we are spirit soul living in the body. And he says that how this soul is transmigrating from one body to another body. Now we see many, many proofs how we are not the body. Even if you talk by common sense, when a person dies, we say, wo chala gaya, he has left us. This, the body is there, right there. Who has left? Which means there was somebody staying in the body who has left. So it's by intuition, our language is like that. Second thing, if you see, this concept of, let's say, car and a driver. Driver is running the car, or the engine is running the car, but car is a whole body. Now, that driver is the spirit soul. The driver is out, the car stops. It doesn't run. Or the engine is taken out, car stops. Or if you have a wristwatch, the battery is taken out, the watch stops. Similarly, this is the philosophy of cause and effect. There is a cause which produces effect. Now, another way to explain this is something called as near-death experiences. There are many, many incidences recorded in the history, in the medical field also. This is called near-death experience or out-of-body experience, where what happens is the person is declared to be dead. But then after 5 minutes, the person comes back to life. And the person reports incidences of visiting some place in those 5 minutes and witnessing some things. And then you actually do the research, you will find out whatever the person is reporting is truth. Now you may wonder, the body is lying there. Where did this person go? This means there was some energy which was within the body, which went somewhere else, observed something, came back. This is all science has observed. This is not Bhagavad Gita. I'm just giving the proof, scientific proofs. And the fourth thing which is mentioned is past life experiences. There are many incidences where a 3 years or a 4 years child starts talking about a city which the child has never visited, never seen on YouTube or Instagram or anything, some far village. And you take the child to that village, child identifies every nook and corner of the house where the child used to stay in the past life, identifies every relative in the family, and not only that, at times reports conversations which happened in the past life with the members of the family, which only the members of the family know. So like this, there are many ways which indicates that we are something different from the body. And Bhagavad Gita in text number 12 to 30th tells us very much in detail how we are not the body but spirit soul. Hum Atma hai. What is that Atma? That spirit soul has a form, is a living person which has acquired this body and transmigrating through 84 lakh species of life, 8.4 lakh species of life. We are transmigrating. Sometimes dog's body, cat's body, cow's body, fox body, wolf's body, anything, rat, mouse, etc., etc. So many bodies. Finally, we come to human body. And human body is the only body when we have sufficient intelligence to understand these concepts. And it is described we are supposed to come out of the cycle of birth and death and attain moksha or liberation. So this is on the spiritual side. Now, on a daily life lessons perspective, these 20 verses, 11 to 30th, are teaching us, just like we change body, but our anitya spirit soul remains constant. Similarly, in this world, the nature of this world is constant change. It is said only thing which is constant in this world is change. This world keeps changing and changing and changing and changing and all the time changing. Parivartan is dunya ka niyam. Just like a person takes off the old clothes and buys the new clothes and throws the old torn clothes. Similarly, body becomes old, throw, buy new one. Person dies, gets a new one. From that body example, we can see that in this world, everything is changing. Relations are changing. People's natures are changing. Our atmosphere is changing. Our financial condition is always changing. Our health is changing. People whom we love, who loved us, they may change and they may not love us anymore. Or people may die and they may disappear from around us. So, with this constant change, Bhagavad Gita says to keep an expectation of constant world in an ever-changing world is foolishness and is the cause of pain. To keep the expectation of constancy in an ever-changing world is the cause of pain. क्यों ये इच्छा रखते हैं कि हमेशा चीजें सेम रहे? ऐसे नहीं रहती. अच्छे से बुरी भी होती है. बुरी से अच्छा तो सब इच्छा रखते हैं. Okay, it should become good from worse. Fine. But from good to worse, oh, that we can't digest. But Bhagavad Gita says, learn to tolerate these changes. So 2.14 brings the concept of tolerance, sahanshilta. So one thing is Bhagavad Gita teaches us in these 20 verses, learn to tolerate. And another thing which Bhagavad Gita teaches in text number 2.25 to 2.30, stop too much lamenting. अत्यधिक शोक करना, दुख मनाना छोड़ दो. And the example is given just like a child. He has made a small castle on the banks of on the seaside, on the banks of the ocean, on the beach. There is a sand there. From the sand, he makes a castle, he makes a house. But when the waves come, the house breaks. Now, if the child knows that this was expected, child will take it in a humorous, in a laughing way, light way. But if the child has an expectation, the whole life that house will stay. No. And the child keeps crying whole night for that. That's foolishness. Similarly, we make so many castles of relation. We make so many things, career. We make great health. But ultimately, everything breaks down. So we have to take life like a play, like a game. That is what is being taught in these 20 verses. Okay, now, after giving the spiritual side, then 31 to 37 onwards, those 7 verses, 31 onwards to 37, Lord Krishna tells that one has to also take care of the needs of the body. So he introduces the concept of Swadharma in 31st verse. What is Swadharma? One's own duties. Swadharma. So there are 2 kinds of duties, material duty and spiritual duties. In the previous 20 verses, spiritual side is mentioned. Now Krishna talks about material duties. As long as we are in the body, we need to take care of the body. And Lord Krishna keeps this in mind that there are 2 kinds of bodies we are living in right now. There is a gross body and subtle body. I'll try to explain this. If we have a mobile phone, there is a SIM card. SIM card is the Atma or spirit soul. And then we have software and we have the hard body, the hardware. So these hardware and software are 2 bodies. Similarly, in our body, we have this gross body, which we can see, which is made up of 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether. But there is a subtle body which we can't touch. And that is made of mind, intelligence, and ego. So Lord Krishna tells Arjuna, one should take care of gross body by feeding the gross body. Give the food, take care of the body by providing shelter, protection, by providing medical care, etc., etc., health care. But then he also says that one has to take care of mind and intelligence and ego also. If these 3 elements are not taken care, person cannot live happily because person is right now staying in this body, even if the person is spirit soul. Now, what are the needs of our subtle body? Our mind, intelligence, we have some emotional needs. We have some psychophysical needs, psychological needs. We have some social needs. We have some family needs. They all need to be taken care of. Like an example of a career. Somebody wants to build a career. Somebody wants to do business. He's forced to work for someone and doesn't is not allowed an independent business, he will feel frustrated. And somebody who is used to working as a job, he's forced to do business. He doesn't have that mindset. He will not be able to do business. So the point is not that one is better than the another. Both have different mindset. Work one can just go to an office, work 8 o'clock to 6 o'clock in the evening, and be happy with that. But if somebody he says, I can't work under someone. I just want to be independent. I want to just do business. Whenever I want to go to the office, I'll go. Otherwise, I will just dictate orders. You do this, you do that. Now, one may say one is higher, one is lower, but the point is Bhagavad Gita says it's not higher and lower. You are made differently. So who is higher? One who accepts his nature and acts accordingly. That person is higher. You accept who you are. You accept what career you have to do. Like other day, I was giving class to medical college students, and I was telling somebody enters medical science. After 2 years, he realized, oh, I wanted to be in army. So he changes his field. Some people finish their medical studies and later on enter into management, hospital management. They are more inclined to management, but they do not want to practice medicine as such. I have seen people after medical entering into engineering as a field. Some people entering into law because suddenly they realize what their nature is, what their career is all about. So they change their field. So point is, your subtle body, your mind is tuned in a certain way. So you have to function in that format. So 31 to 37, Lord Krishna focuses on Arjun, that Arjun, you are a Kshatriya. Kshatriya means administrator. So there he is bringing this concept that for a healthy society, 4 categories of people are supposed to be there. A teaching class, which in Sanskrit is called as Brahmana. Teachers. Kshatriya class or managers. Third, mercantile class who raises money. Then fourth, working class who performs the function and assists the other classes. Now, as per Bhagavad Gita, it's not one is higher, one is lower. The 4 work together and help the society to prosper. Or rather, they 4 make the society, and society prospers by their mutual cooperation. So there is a lack of proper understanding of this concept of Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. People feel it is a caste system where one person is told to be higher, one is lower. No, it's a mutual cooperation because their mindset is different. And Arjun was a Kshatriya and administrator, so Arjun was told, you have to work in that format. Arjun said, no, I will leave all this administration, all this management. I will just sit and live a simple life, just work for someone. Krishna says, you can't. You have to find a work as per your mindset. So to cut short the long story, main thing 31 to 37, Lord Krishna is telling Arjun that please focus on your gross body and subtle body, Swadharma, needs. And then 38th, he says that do not focus so much on your bodily needs that you forget that you are spirit soul. So he says, while focusing on your bodily needs, do not be too much affected by happiness, distress, profit, loss, victory, defeat. These external changes will keep happening. Sometimes you will be on the top of the scale, sometimes below. Sometimes victory, sometimes defeat. Learn to live with it. Just be dedicated to your duties. That is the success. Do your duties with dedication, with ambition, with passion, with enthusiasm. At the same time, you should have the strength to accept if things do not turn your way around. Acceptance should develop. Simple example. If you are an administrator and you see a teacher and you say, oh, teacher gets so many benefits, I should also get. But you as a manager, as an administrator, are also getting some benefits. So you may not getting the benefit which the other section of society is getting. And other section of society may not get the benefits which you are getting. So be aware of that, who you are, and accept the advantages and disadvantages which come with that kind of profession or work. Because this is another proper problem. People are always in imitation. That I want to be like him or like her. So Bhagavad Gita is also training, be aware who you are, what your mindset is, and accept whatever comes along with that, advantages or disadvantages. And this way, Lord Krishna ends 38th verse. And then 39, joining the spiritual side and the material side, that is the bodily care and spiritual care, when you combine two and live a kind of life which is called as buddhi yoga. So 39th onwards till 72, it's all buddhi yoga discussed. Because 20 verses, 11 to 30th, he talks about soul and the needs of the soul and the nature of the soul, qualities of soul. And 31 to 37, he talks about the qualities of your importance of taking care of bodily needs. And then after that, 39 onwards, he gives a whole detailed understanding of what buddhi yoga is. And three things he explains. He explains what is buddhi yoga in text number 39 to 53. He explains what is buddhi yoga and what are the advantages of buddhi yoga. Now, buddhi yoga, I would just like to give a hint here. Yoga means connection, connecting the soul to God. Atma ko Paramatma se connect karna, that is yoga. There are various kinds of buddhi yoga. Various kinds of yoga. Sankhya yoga, Ashtanga yoga, Jnana yoga. It's just like there is various ways to earn money. So there are various ways to connect the Atma to God. Now, when the concept of buddhi yoga is mentioned, what does that mean? That you do your daily duties, but do not get so absorbed. Your buddhi should be connected to the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, which teaches what are the realities of life. Like, for example, this world is an ever-changing place. It is not a constant place. I am not a product of this world. I am just changing bodies. Actually, I am part and parcel of God. We will discuss all this concept of buddhi in the forthcoming chapters. But what I'm saying is, when you stay on the platform of buddhi or intelligence and then do various activities, you do not get carried away by that. Like an example is given of a biscuit. A biscuit is soaked in tea or milk. But it is said a biscuit, there should be a limit to which a biscuit is soaked. If you soak too long before eating, the biscuit melts away. But when you soak sufficient time and then taste it is tasty. Similarly said, while in this world one has to perform the duties, take care of the body, take care of the society, take care of community, family, nation, etc. But how much to do and how much not to do, your intelligence should guide us. Our intelligence should guide us. That is called buddhi yoga. So from 39 onwards till 53, it is mentioned what is buddhi yoga and what are the advantages of acting on the platform of buddhi yoga. And then 54 to 72. In 54, Arjun asked the question, how do I identify someone who is really practicing buddhi yoga nicely? And he raises 4 questions. What are his symptoms? How does he sit? How does he speak? How does he walk? And Lord Krishna answers those 4 questions from text number 55 to text number 72. And that's how he culminates but how to identify a person who is situated in proper understanding of buddhi yoga, which means who is properly practicing Bhagavad Gita. How does he live his life? And this is how the whole chapter 2 flows and is summarized.